guys, it's Akeiva and welcome to another episode of The Bemused, where we're talking all things personal finance for young adults like myself. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. So yesterday we put out a poll on our Instagram, and if you don't follow us on Instagram, make sure you do. Our username will be somewhere here on the screen. It's simply at The Bemused on Instagram. And we asked you guys how many of you had parents that took out Parent Plus loans for you guys when you were in college. And I'll put the results somewhere over here. Overwhelmingly, a lot of you guys had parents take out Parent Plus loans for you. So I thought it would be a good idea to just come on here and tell you guys my experience and my story with my attempt to actually refinance those Parent Plus loans into my own name. So for those of you who don't know that much about how Parent Plus loans work, Parent Plus loans are a type of federal loan that the parent or guardian or whatever of a student can apply for. You do have to be a citizen or permanent resident, just like how you would need to be if you were a student to apply for federal aid. Parent Plus loans are most often used to cover any shortfall between your financial aid package and your cost of attendance at your school. So as I mentioned in a previous video, my dad took out about $30,000 worth of loans on my behalf throughout my 4 years of undergrad. So Parent Plus loans, even though they were taken out on behalf of you as a student, the loan is in the name of your parent or whoever took that loan out for you. So it has nothing to do with you. You have no legal obligation to those loans. They are your parents' loans. They are in their name. However, if you're anything like me and you like your independence and you like to take care of yourself, you might think, I wonder if there's a way to get those loans out of their name and into my own name, if you're the one that's actually going to be paying off the loan like I intend to do. There definitely is a way, and that's something that I had to go researching for myself when I first started thinking about, hey, maybe there's a way to kind of get this off my parents' plate and into my name, since I'm the one that's really going to be paying back the loan anyway. So I embarked on this process in August of 2017, so it's been a few months now since I attempted to do this. And in my research, I came across this article from Student Loan Hero, which I will link in the description below, detailing how you can refinance Parent Plus loans into the name of the student. And so the article talked about 3 companies. I don't know if that's changed since then. This article was written, I think, in 2016, so it's a little bit outdated. But at the time of writing that article, there were 3 companies, the article said, that did Parent Plus loan refinancing into the student's name. These 3 companies are SoFi, Bond, and Laurel Road. So those are the 3 companies that I researched and tried to see what kind of rates I can get to refinance my Parent Plus loans. So the first company I tried to refinance the loans with was Bond. So I went on, put in all my information, and they did what's called a soft inquiry on my credit. And so I don't think we touched on this in our credit video, but essentially, a soft inquiry on your credit does not affect your credit score. So they're pulling a bit of your credit history without affecting your score. A hard inquiry is when they actually go and pull your full credit report, and that is what can impact your score, like we talked about in our How to Build Credit video series, which I will link up here if you haven't seen that yet. So back to the story. So I put in all of my information, and then I got an email back a couple days later saying, hey, you've been conditionally pre-approved, however, you need a co-signer in order to be fully approved. So of course, that wasn't gonna work, because if I was supposed to get a co-signer, the only logical person I could think of to be a co-signer would be my parent, and that defeats the whole purpose. So Bond was out. Then I tried SoFi, same kind of process, did a soft inquiry on my credit, and I got back some rates and some results. I unfortunately don't have those rates that they offered me anymore, and I can't pull them up on the website. I definitely tried, so I can show you guys exactly the rates that I was being offered, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get that. So I can't show the exact numbers, but the gist of it was that the rates that I was being offered were higher than what I was already going to be paying in interest on my Parent Plus loan, or substantially the same. I mentioned in a previous video that the rate on my Parent Plus loan is about 6.5% average. So essentially, it would only make sense to refinance if I was going to get it at a lower interest rate. Then I also took a look at Laurel Bond. I knew right away that it wasn't going to work because they do publish their rates online. This is They publish both their variable rate ranges and their fixed rate ranges. And just by looking at it, I could tell that this probably wasn't going to work out because the rates were basically the same or higher than what I was going to pay my 6.5% anyway. I don't have a list of what those rates were at that particular time, but I will show you guys what their current rates are. And even right now, it's still not looking pretty good compared to the 6.5%. It would really be a gamble. So at the end of the day, I decided not to try to refinance my Parent Plus loans because really the only reason why I wanted to do it was to give myself some independence and to get the loans into my own name. That was the only reason. Now, the Student Loan Hero article that I mentioned at the beginning of the video brought up some pros and cons of refinancing your Parent Plus loans into your own name. And to an extent, I agree with some of what was said. To a degree, I don't. So here are some things you want to keep in mind if you're thinking about refinancing your Parent Plus loans into your own name. Firstly, beware that the interest rate that you might get approved for might be the same or substantially higher than the interest rate that is currently on those loans. So it might not make financial sense. That's not true in all cases, but it can be. Another consideration is that whenever you refinance any type of federal student loan into a private loan, you lose those federal protections and benefits and programs that might be to your advantage, like public service loan forgiveness, for example, or the ability to have income contingent repayment plans. So you just want to be careful when considering refinancing your federal loans. It's also important to note that these companies also require you to have already graduated college, and some do require you to actually show proof of employment. So that's another consideration. You probably can't do this if you're still in school or don't have a job yet. But some of the pros might be, you might just have substantially better credit history than your parent. And if the disparity is that wide, you just might qualify for a lower interest rate. And that can save you a lot of money over the years. Secondly, it gives you that kind of independence factor that I was talking about earlier, where everything is kind of in your own name. Another pro the article brought up that I don't agree with actually is the fact that refinancing the loans into your own name helps you build credit history. But odds are, if you have Parent Plus loans in the first place, it most likely means you've exhausted all of your personal federal loan options, which is also helping you build your credit. So you don't necessarily really need another similar type of loan to help build your credit. So that's my experience in my attempt and research in trying to refinance my Parent Plus loans into my own name. And those are just a few considerations to keep in mind if you're thinking about doing the same thing. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, our community here is growing every single day, and I'm so grateful for all of you who've subscribed to our channel and want to be part of this learning and growing community. So please continue watching and supporting us. Don't forget to turn on notifications so that you never miss whenever we post a new video. We'll see you guys next time.